So,
What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What
Shit.
are we going to talk about?
I don't know.
Good stuff.
We could talk.
Are
So the
we
most
starting?
recent shit is like the Cuomo shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's your boy. So I
No,
figured,
he's not my boy.
That's your boy, bro.
No, he's my boy. Because he's on CNN.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch CNN as much as I watch Newsmax. Doesn't
What's
mean I'm a
Newsmax?
Newsmax dude.
All right, fuck it. Let's get into it right now. All right. Ooh, a little shot of this. How's it, everyone? Welcome back. We're fucking finally back.
We've
After
returned.
After a long layover. For those of you who don't know, the reason why we fucking shut down was a little thing called COVID. Apparently it's killing people and shit, so we stopped. In the...
That's me in the text message.
What's that? Oh, that's you on the text message?
That is not something I could ask you.
Just for comfort reasons, really. I mean, it was tough getting people to fucking come and do the shit.
Hey, I mean, you had a kid.
Oh, I did have a kid, yeah.
That was a
that
big
was pretty
thing.
rad.
So
That was cool.
it's not hard. It's not easy to film while
juggle
you're...
that shit
yeah.
too. Yeah, so the baby came, COVID came, lost a couple jobs along the way. So we're back now. So this is fucking cool. This is fun to be back. Thanks for coming back. And we got a little behind the scenes guy. So he'll remain anonymous until fucking
Need be.
we're ready to fucking expose him. But yeah, so we wanted to come back and just fucking, I guess just recap on fucking shit that's going on, current events.
Yeah, just continue the conversation, I guess.
Yeah, basically, because that's what the fuck is not happening a lot, I feel like. Is like a lot of conversations aren't being had because people are either afraid to have them or get fucking canceled for them.
Or just stuck in their own little bias, I guess. You know?
That's true. That's true.
Nobody really wants to hear the other side, so I
That's
guess
true.
that's what we're trying to do.
So yeah, we're talking about your boy Cuomo. So
Chris Cuomo.
yeah, and the reason I say he's your boy is because you're a CNN guy. Yeah.
It is a source.
Self-proclaimed.
It is a source I use.
Yeah.
But I check out Newsmax. I check out Fox News. I check out MSNBC because there's different spectrums.
What's
you know.
Newsmax? I don't know.
It's a far right.
Really? And I don't know about it?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
Newsmax. What else is the other one?
Gateway Pundit is my fucking go-to.
Is it? Oh, okay.
No, it's not.
But Newsmax is like an MSNBC. It's like
Gateway Pundit is my way to like checks and balances on the left, on the extreme left. You know what I mean?
Is it?
Yeah. If I read some shit from Gateway Pundit, I'm skeptical about the shit.
Wait. So it is liberal?
No,
It's
conservative.
okay. It's conservative.
So it's my way to kind of balance the scales when I'm like looking at some shit, like trying to be like.
When you are feeling
objective
liberal.
No, when I'm just trying to be objective about
Okay.
some shit.
Okay.
Because it's like the shit that it's like the shit and I am liberal. It's like the shit that the far right kind of like gravitates to.
Yeah. So that's my Newsmax and Fox News. Fox News. I mean, Newsmax is the MSNBC of like the far right. It's like kind of an extreme, and it's like, oh man, they embellish and they kind of go on the more convenient route. They kind of sway things a little the way MSNBC does
Just
on the
biased,
liberal.
yeah,
Yeah.
just a
So
biased
yeah, but I do that in the same way to just like see each side. I just like to see every side and question, what I truly feel and question it,
In the last year, how much have you seen on the flip side of how you normally would like look at shit?
More so than ever before. Because it's becoming such a, like, the conversations have been so emotional, So I like really like take a step back and I'm like, all right, I gotta like assess this and see what I truly believe. Am I being blinded? Because I see a lot of people that I think are blinded, and I'm like, man, hold up, am I that person?
Right.
I gotta check myself.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, or on like your side, like people that see things your way, and you're like,
Well,
bro,
naturally,
I looked into that shit, and like, you believe that shit, like.
Naturally, you gravitate to everything that goes your way, right? Like your initial
Your bias,
belief. Yeah. And then like whenever you hear somebody else saying that, it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Bias,
Yeah. So I don't even need to look at the other side. That's how I initially was thinking.
Right.
And with all this, I'm like, wait, hold up, like, because I was doing that to a lot of people, and I was like, wait, I got to check myself first before I start doing that to other people. And that's why I go to Newsmax and I mean like Brantley. Brantley opens my eyes up to a different. Uh, sorry,
Brantley's a bitch.
yeah, yeah.
First off, let's get that out of the
No,
way.
no.
Brantley's a bitch because Brantley. I asked him to come on. I thought it'd be fucking fun to just fuck with him, and he's got a lot to fucking say. Especially nowadays, he's fucking. He's like one of those conspiracy theorists that like the shit's kind of coming true.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just kind of like, see, I fucking told
Yeah.
you, fucking told you, dummies.
But there's a lot that doesn't come true. That's
Oh,
why
fucking
I
tons.
mean, so the majority doesn't. But there are a few things you know that do come up. But like for the 1% that doesn't know Chris Brantley, he's a far right. You know, I wouldn't even say far right. He just very strong Trump supporter.
I'm kind of laughing. I think 99% know Chris Brown.
Yeah, exactly. The 1%. I would say
that doesn't know.
the 1% that
Everyone
doesn't
else
know.
knows,
Just to
but-
add context to it.
Yeah,
But yeah.
The fucking.
But no, so he's very loud. He's very opinionated, and he really, you know, opened my eyes up to other, you know, train of thoughts. And for the longest time, I dismissed him because, you know, I mean, having conversations with him for quite a few years, you know, I couldn't. I could never take the dude really seriously.
Right.
You know, he just argues to argue.
Right.
But
you never know how convicted he is in what he's fucking saying.
Correct.
You know, you just don't know if he's trying to be a troll
Exactly.
or if he's actually like saying some shit
Yeah.
or like it's like I have something to say in this argument, but the person that's started the argument has my point of view, so I'm just gonna test their conviction.
Yeah.
So he just starts fucking trolling them.
And before it was like, you know, the Cowboys or
Yeah,
you know
it's sports or
Kobe
some
Bryant.
shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. That's what we're talking about. Now it's like, you know, real shit.
Right.
So, but he, you know, was a person. I mean, there's a few people, but ultimately, I questioned myself. I was like, you know what? Am I looking at things objectively?
Mm-hmm.
Am I doing myself, you know, right? You know, and so that's why I was like, you know, I'm going to look at everything. I want to see all the other sides and see if I still believe it,
Right.
or at least what I like about it is I get a better understanding of the other side,
Right.
and that's super important.
So in the last year, with all the fucking crazy shit that's going on, do you find yourself seeing things more conservatively now, or do you find yourself seeing things the same way, but just kind of like you just use that to balance out your thought process?
No, I think naturally I'm more of a liberal
Right.
mindset. You know, I
Sure,
have more.
baby.
Yeah. But I mean, I do. I mean, that being said, I question a lot of like the liberal points of views.
Well,
So-
which brings me back to Chris Cuomo. A lot of these fucking like biased left wing kind of media outlets or media personalities have like kind of been showing their ass lately.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, like, for someone that's like moderately conservative, it's that confirmation bias that you get when like your homie's like, no, yeah, I feel the same way you do, and you're like, yeah, see, fuck like what conservatives are saying, or fuck what liberals are saying.
Yeah.
Like, see, as long as me and my homie are on the same page, like I'm cool.
That's all-
I'm gonna
that's
keep
all I
talking
need.
my
Yeah,
shit, you know. But then you start seeing like all the fucking like for me, if I was a Democrat, staunch Democrat, and I'm not a staunch Republican, I'm more, you know, like libertarian down like the middle. Try to like there's shit that I think that makes sense, you know, progressively.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Like Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, like this is my homegirl. Like, she's dope, bro. She's fucking dope.
You
know what? We'll get to her
Yeah.
because I like lately, I've grown a little bit more respect for her in certain aspect. But we'll get back to
I
it.
get you.
If I were a Democrat, I'd be like, bro, these fucking people are such fucking liars. Like you know.
Oh, totally.
And that I think that was the difference between conservatives and liberals, is that conservatives beat the Republican drum, but at the same time they know how far they can trust the government. They know the
You know,
government's still the government.
well, I don't want to say I disagree with that, but I think the majority of people I talk to, I think the main like thought of, oh well, fuck the Republicans because they like just worship Trump. Like that's like the easy, like
Which is
definition.
a weird narrative because
Because-
most Republicans, like just
Well, but
the middle of the road Republicans, they voted for Trump but didn't really fuck with Trump. But
So-
then there's the Trumpers.
well, that's why I like talking to people, and
Yeah.
the majority of Republicans I talk to are what you just said.
Yeah.
That I talk to.
Yeah.
The people that you see on Instagram and the people you see being portrayed by media are like.
Russian bots, baby. The
Yeah,
Russian
no,
bots.
yeah, definitely, totally, and that's how you. But that goes both ways.
Both ways, for
So
sure.
that's what I kind of realized through all this. The majority of people I talked to were like, "I voted Trump, but that was what was I gonna do?
Yeah.
I was gonna vote Joe Biden."
Same thing with people that voted for Hillary. I found, like
Yeah.
well,
Well,
like she's a shady bitch, but like
That's
she's
what
the-
I
she's
did
the-
with Joe Biden. I mean,
Oh,
I
that
wasn't
too, that
proud to vote Joe Biden. I mean, I was pissed that he even got the nomination for the DNC.
Right. Who did you want? Bernie.
I wanted Bernie. Yeah. I like Bernie.
You said.
But
To be honest, Tulsi.
Tulsi would've been dope.
As a fucking conservative, and honestly, if you look at Tulsi, I feel like Tulsi's a conservative that voted that went on a liberal platform.
Yeah. Just
to-
for the
to try to get-
audience. Yeah.
Or
Just trying to
because
win
she knew
that.
She was gonna beat Trump, because the Trumpers were just
Yeah.
really on.
But Tulsi's
on
pretty
the thing.
dope.
She's fucking legit.
I
I love
like-
Tulsi.
I-
I love Tulsi Gabbard.
I still like Yang Gang. Yang Gang.
Andrea? No.
Yeah, Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like,
Money wins elections, though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, that's what
totally.
fucking sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
Uh,
I
but-
feel like Tulsi had a fucking chance because she went on like
But
Rogan.
out of all the people, like Joe Biden, I mean, Joe Biden during the primaries, he was like dead last the majority of the time, and then all of a sudden, the party decided to back him, and then everybody dropped out. So I mean, you could see there was like
Yeah.
definite politics.
Well, and
Um,
there was the whole Kamala, you back out and fucking we'll make you VP kind of shit. You know?
But I mean, that
You don't
tripped
think
me
so?
out. No, because Kamala's
You
her
don't think that was a
her
closed-door
primary thing
handshake?
was falling apart. Like her whole
Yeah.
little.
she wasn't a threat to Biden.
No, not at all. So, the fact that, I mean, I think it was just because she was a woman, and she's has culture, and she could get that,
She's culture.
well, her race, I don't even know what her race is, but
She's Indian.
yeah, but
She's Asian.
She's Asian, yeah, but no,
They beat that black drum like a motherfucker.
but you can use that. I mean, you get minorities, and it did.
Well,
People were.
So that's what this is why I'm talking about the closed door conversation. I thought it was a closed door handshake conversation because it's like, look, we don't want you to steal black votes from us. We'd rather those black votes go to Biden in the primary. So just drop the fuck out because this is what I feel, and this is kind of fucked up, and this is gonna seem kind of fucked up, but I feel like they have such little respect for the mindset of the urban black community that they feel that they'll just vote for her because she's
and I think they did.
got
I
melanin
mean,
in her
yeah.
skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I give them a little more credit personally, but I know there's a bunch of fucking the same way the rednecks voted for Trump.
Yeah.
You have that demographic that isn't really politically kind of educated.
It just, I mean, I know people who just.
I'm gonna go vote. They're telling me to vote.
I know people who
and
just
she's
blindly
black, so-
vote. They're like, oh, I got a Democratic, card, and it says everybody I should vote for. I'm just gonna vote all those people.
Kamala is
Yeah, yeah.
Kamala black? Yeah, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
vote- yeah. So I think they wanted those votes to go to Biden. I mean, he went on Charlemagne the God's. I don't know if it was his.
Who, Joe Biden?
Yeah, I don't know if it was his own show, or if it was like it wasn't Breakfast Club. I don't know what it was, but and then where he was like, if you ain't black,
Oh
you
yeah,
don't vote for
that,
me,
yeah.
you ain't
You
black.
ain't black. Yeah.
That dumb shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like that was the run that they were making at the politically uneducated black urban community.
Well, I mean, you could make the same argument for the other side.
But they were locked in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They
the
already
Trumpers
had
were-
them,
Yeah,
though.
the Trumpers
No,
were
well,
locked in. There was
yeah,
nobody that
correct,
was going to
but-
take those people
correct,
from Trump.
correct.
And then like the
Yeah.
Republican
But they're, I mean,
the Republican
they're
one was like no one's going to run against Trump. Like why?
exactly.
And a lot of them wanted Trump to win because they knew he was stirring shit up.
But for votes wise, I mean, they're just drumming up that base,
Right.
and they're like, all right, we got this. So Democrats are like sitting there, well, we need something like that.
To
So
combat it.
yeah, correct.
Mail-in voting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stolen election.
Well,
How do you feel about that? How do you feel
What,
about like
the-
stolen election?
the-
Like
I
how,
mean-
how legit do you think the thought of a stolen election actually is?
well, I think it's pretty legit. 'Cause, I mean, you could go back.
You think the
Many-
election was legit, or you think the
No, the
of-
theory of that. But I mean, you can go back many years and see the same
Yeah,
questionable thing.
there's
I mean, Bush in Florida, he won by like 500 votes.
Yeah.
That right there, and that switched and went
Yeah.
back and forth. And that, I was in my early 20s. I don't even remember, but I remember.
Did you vote for Gore?
Did I vote for Bush?
No, Gore.
Yeah, yes, I voted for Gore. And when I seen that, I was like, "What the? This is fucked up," you know?
Chads, baby.
Yeah.
Hanging Chads.
And then Jeb is there as the governor.
Fuck yeah, speaking Spanish and everything.
So,
my favorite
and he
state,
like
man.
guaranteed Bush. He was like, Bush is gonna win Florida, and then he lost, and then all of a sudden it switched over. I mean, so basically,
Stolen election,
I
you're
think
trying
it
to
can. It was 500 votes. I mean, it was something ridiculous. It was
solid
so,
fucking
uh,
refugees, man. My
um,
uncles came through, touched.
so do I think it can happen? Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's been happening.
It's been happening.
You know, so
it's been happening. It's been happening definitely, but the thing is, the rate of how it can happen.
But
with
the
voting.
the like my pillow guy, in that theory, that's a little. I mean,
You talking
Sidney
like
Powell,
QAnon shit?
the Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, like the whole.
Break
It
down,
is a
break it down because
the fraudulent election. It's like, oh well,
shit.
I mean, I know they had lawsuits throughout several different states, and they all ended up failing because there was. But their whole claim was, oh well, this election is rigged because of this and this. But I think media was like, oh well, I mean, it went on that whole like, oh, the Venezuelan like, the voting machines. The voting machines were owned by like the Venezuelan. I mean, this is yeah. This is the theory though.
Right.
This is what they were claiming, like why it was rigged. You didn't hear this?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
You don't know Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell, the Trump lawyers who were like pushing it and like, oh, you know what, we're gonna release the Kraken. We got the evidence. We
Right,
have,
right.
and they're like, we can prove. And this is the same thing like my pillow guy. He was pushing as well.
Right.
He was like, all right, we have evidence.
Well, a lot of people were pushing. Giuliani was pushing. That,
Well,
the
yeah,
evidence.
So Giuliani,
Yeah.
Lynn Wood,
Yeah,
Sidney
yeah.
Powell, but this is the same story. This is the story that had no truth whatsoever. But everybody's like, you know what? That shit's rigged. They rigged it. And it's like there's no proof. Like if there was actual evidence or something.
I mean, there's proof. There's proof like I've seen and again, this might just be the smoke screen or the filter of the algorithm showing me the shit that is right
What,
leaning.
did you see the German freaking server that was hacked that showed that Trump actually won?
No, what I saw was like a lot of like the film from the county,
Okay.
and how like people were like running through ballots twice and shit like that. But at the same time, like I watched that shit and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck the process is.
Exactly.
I don't know if you run the fucking shit twice or not, just in case. Like these didn't run, they didn't, so we rerun them just to make
Well,
sure.
and a lot of it is like, oh, well, you know what? My cousin had a ballot and it was like, it wasn't accepted or
Yeah.
it didn't register.
Yeah.
They didn't get the email saying that they voted.
Yeah.
Or somebody in California was like, oh, well, how did they close the election so fast when they didn't count all the votes? It's like you
Percentages.
can exactly.
Yeah. People that
Like
know.
for California, like especially.
Bro, don't get me on fucking the general public and how well they fucking know math and statistics, because when it comes to the whole COVID shit, it fucking drives me mad. But anyways, that's a whole topic for another
Yeah.
day.
No, but that that was a lot of people's like they're like there's no way. That's how they stole it, So like
It did.
that
It did bother me when they're like, California's at 50%, and they call it a blue state already, and it's like, it's with mail-in voting now. It's like you don't really know, you know what I mean? But they make the assumption that most of the mail-in votes are going to come from.
But you
rural.
take samples and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like,
it's-
oh
it's-
man,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, all our mail-in votes are all
Yeah.
coming, coming back.
No, I mean,
So I
A
get it.
Republican really has to come in. I mean, it's so democratic here. A Republican really needs to
But
just
there's been
own
but there's a lot of swing districts.
districts. Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's
and
just
there's
not enough.
And there's a lot of exactly, and the districts, and again, people don't know percentages. They don't know that.
But I mean, I'm not a big fan of Gavin Newsom, and I was seeing the numbers there, and it was just like I kind of wanted him to lose, but I didn't want Larry Elder to take it.
Why not?
Larry
That's
Elder's
racist.
a piece of shit.
That's fucking racist.
He's a piece. No,
You're
not at
racist.
all.
That's racist. That's
But
so
it's like,
racist. It's so
I mean,
fucking
it's the same. It's the same like Joe Biden, Donald Trump
racist. You want
conundrum.
motherfuckers to have
And
IDs to
so
vote, huh?
I don't. A lot of people like to talk to me on Instagram and be like, oh, and then like battle back and forth. But I'm like, yo, let's go have a drink or let's go sit down and talk. And when I do, that's when you really hear. And we're not so different. You know, the people that think we're gonna argue, we're not too different.
So you wanted Caitlyn to win?
No. Who did I like? I liked Atramino.
Democrat?
No, he's Republican.
Really?
But yeah, he's more of a independent
Moderate.
type. Yeah, moderate. But he's dope. I really like him. I still like him now.
What'd you like about him?
He's just real, you know. Like people are. If you can be honest and still have what's it?
It's weird.
No,
He's just real.
no.
You know those real politicians. Those guys
Yeah,
are all.
I
fucking
mean,
shit.
yeah. I mean, he made his own wealth. I mean, I mean, things he speaks about. It's just like the mandates. I'm not a fan of mandates. So
But Larry Elder ran on the same platform. So what didn't you
no,
like about
no,
Larry?
no. Just
Why is he a piece of shit? Because he's black?
no, not at all.
A little bit.
I think Larry Elder's like no.
It'd be a lot interesting of a podcast
If
he
it
did.
was no,
It'd be a lot better if he did.
no. Atramino, he was just like. I mean, he's
What was your beef
honest.
with Larry Elder? He's a talk show host?
He reminds me
He's
of
Uncle Tom?
no. I see. I don't even think about that. No, it's like the whole like the cheap Rush Limbaugh feel you get with Larry Elder, and I mean, yeah. So my focus was most.
I feel like you just didn't like him because he was like, he talked that Republican shit on his show, which again is paid for. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you know,
he's getting paid to like spark up that, you know,
Division? I get
and light a fire for that his base. It's a base that he's speaking to, and he's on a talk show, which like Rush Limbaugh did.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he truly did believe all that stuff.
but as fucked up and racist as Limbaugh sounded, a lot of the shit that he said made sense though. You know what I mean? Like the shit that I always remember is like the Limbaugh laws, where he's talking about like, I'm gonna make laws for this country, and if you want to come to this country legally, you have to do these things, or if you want to come to the country, you have to do all these things, right? And he's like, and it sounded like super racist, like you have to speak the language, you have to this, you have to that, you have to get a job within a certain amount of time, you have to this, you know. And it was like, wow, this is pretty fucked up and racist. He's like, well, these are all the laws that Mexico has for anybody entering their country, any immigrants, coming to their country. And then you're like, fuck, like that's a good point. That's a solid point. You know what I mean? Like, why don't we have laws that are at least as strict as the countries that border?
Well, maybe in that instance you could like make a case for Rush
no, but
Limbaugh
yeah,
being
some
like pretty,
outlandish
yeah,
shit as well.
correct,
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it,
And Larry Elder's
the
the same way. I mean,
Right.
but they have
But a
a
lot of
base
that-
that they're playing to.
Yeah, or how much of that is that shock jock type of bullshit
Yeah,
that
definitely.
Howard Stern started?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like, hey, people hating you. They found out like, have you ever watched Private Parts? The Howard Stern
Yeah.
shit. So
Like, maybe like once and never watched it again.
There's a scene in there, a throwaway scene where they're like, the people that like him tune in for an hour.
Yeah, people that hate him
People that
listen to the
tune
whole
in for
thing.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Right. So then they're like, what the fuck? So then they started capitalizing on the fact that hate brings more viewership.
I mean, you can see. I mean, just in Donald Trump, right? I mean, CNN's
just in human
ratings.
nature, period.
Yeah,
we
definitely.
talk about like people complain more than they fucking talk about what's good in life.
Correct.
You know,
They want to see something. They're like, fuck that dude, and they're gonna watch because of that.
right.
But yeah,
They want to hear the crazy shit they say.
nobody wants to
So they
hear
can disagree
the
about
calm
it.
mellow dude that's like making sense.
Right.
They're like,
Right.
oh fuck this guy.
Right.
But put on Trump again. You
Right.
know. Put on Larry Elder. Maybe, and that's why. Maybe why
Do
they
you
were.
think Larry Elder's on that level? You think?
No,
Like,
not.
like,
I think he's like a.
Because this is what I run into a lot with my liberal friends. Is like Larry Elder's a piece of shit. And I'm like, okay, well, one, you're not conservative. So I know you're not tuning into his fucking radio show. You're not listening to this shit. So you're getting excerpts from whatever liberal media outlet you subscribe to, explaining why you shouldn't like Larry Elder. And then you're hearing that shit and you're like, man, fuck it. And it may be out of context, may not be out of context. Maybe, you may have a valid fucking point. But at the same time, it's like, that's like me sitting there and saying like, oh, Chris Cuomo's a piece of shit. And it's like,
Well, it appears Chris Cuomo is a piece of shit.
why though? Like, if
He tried to help his brother out. He's just trying to help his
yeah,
boy.
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, in my opinion, it's like I do the same, you know. And again, but I know the risk.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna lose my fucking job doing this.
But
it's
he
worth
did
it.
it. Yeah.
But it's worth it, you know. And to me, it's kind of like, well, Chris, this is what you get for dealing with a bullshit ass company.
Yeah,
You know, you deal with this bullshit ass media outlet that people have been saying like, you guys are fucking pawns for this company. All you do is fucking talk their shit. And Chris Cuomo, I don't think believes a lot of the shit that he says on air.
I don't know, dude. He's like pretty.
An Italian from New York, you know, his brother's going around grabbing pussies.
That's not recording.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's cool. Hopefully we got the other ones. Is it? These
I don't know when to stop, but the battery's not low, so I think battery died.
Oh shit! All right, let's stop it then.